When IShowSpeed raced Noah Lyles in a 50-meter charity race, it sent shockwaves throughout the internet because Noah Lyles himself is the fastest man in the world, which is the title you get when you win the 100-meter dash at the Olympics. That is a track and field race, and IShowSpeed is not a track and field athlete, but he really believes that he is fast. And I'm not here to call him slow, but we're talking about track speed versus everything else. So when they raced, and it looked pretty close at the line, again, the 50-meter dash is not a track and field distance, it did cause a whole lot of curiosity, because if you didn't know who IShowSpeed was before, specifically in the track and field community, people started to ask questions. And I originally had no intentions on making this video, but apparently IShowSpeed has continued racing. I know that's something he's done in the past, but now people are actually calling him out, because he used to be the one doing the call outs, but that was then, and this is now. He just raced Ashton Hall, who once again is not a track and field athlete. Apparently he beat Ashton Hall, and from what I can tell, he beat him more than once. But allow me to just step in here on the whole Ashton Hall situation, because although that race was against a non-track athlete, and I'll come back to that in a moment, Tyreek Hill is now calling out IShowSpeed, and as far as I can tell, he's a whole lot more of a track athlete than most of these people out here, because Tyreek Hill was an amazing high school sprinter, arguably the best sprint recruit when he was coming out of that level. And even though he focused on football and has continued to do that at the highest levels, like NFL Super Bowl type, like yeah, he's that guy, Tyreek Hill came back to the track and finally ran a 100-meter dash, because he didn't just challenge Noah Lyles, he decided to put his money where his mouth was, and he goes out there and races against the Division II national champion, guys who competed at the USA championships, like these are real sprinters, and beats them, every single one of them. So whether or not you think that 10.1 seconds in his comeback 100 from like a decade is fast, the men he was running it against, some of those men have broken 10 before, and he was in front when they gave him a shot. So Tyreek Hill calling out IShowSpeed automatically legitimizes him. I mean, yes, I get it. Like, some of this might just be for fun, could be for social, could be for clicks and views, it could just be, to make money. But IShowSpeed has succeeded. People are now taking him seriously, where beating him is supposed to mean something. Interestingly enough, he was on the other end of this not long ago, because after the whole Noah Lyles situation, he called out Sha'Carri Richardson, or at least some version of it. They had some type of exchange back and forth. I believe it was that Super Bowl weekend. Again, that's what I believe as far as I can remember. I'm not researching it right now. And Sha'Carri told him, like, I ain't racing you, at least not for real. Like, you got to show up and you got to train like a track athlete. And if you show up and train with me, then maybe we could set something up. I'm going to assume that training session has never happened, because IShowSpeed did not actually take her up on that offer. Like, I don't see them racing, and I'm pretty sure he would want to. All that being said, it brings us to where we are now, because is IShowSpeed legit? Because I'm pretty sure he thinks he is. He said to Noah Lyles himself, all the way back at that charity race, his general claim was, I think I can, compete for the Olympics in 2028, which opened up a whole brand new conversation about what we're actually doing here, because in a world where Grand Slam track is at least not coming back in 2025, and we just have the Diamond League and the Continental Tour, but people keep telling me that these races don't really matter, and that the Worlds is all that does. Considering the Worlds and the Olympics really are, events that anyone could compete at if you're fast enough. I mean, just talk from the American context, other nations have their way of getting in, but in America, you just got to be fast enough to get invited to the USAs. And then once you're there, you got to beat the people who show up on the line. Henceforth, you get to wear the red, white, and blue and go out there and represent at the Worlds or the Olympics. Those are the steps, and anybody can do it. IShowSpeed claiming, I'm going to make a run for 2028, which I don't take all that seriously for many reasons. But if he thinks he could do it, all of this attention starting to make it look more legit. So let's just take a step back, because the comment section has let me know that they actually care about this. And I gotta say, the whole Noah Lyles IShowSpeed thing is what got us here. Because when you get to take a shot at the world's fastest man, and it looked like the shot almost missed. Like, or I guess the way we want to flip it, almost hit. Because it looked that way, regardless of what the actual truth was, IShowSpeed immediately catapults into the conversation as somebody worth running against. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. When I saw the Ashton Hall situation, the reason why I first blew it off, like didn't even pay it any mind, is because I looked up who Ashton Hall was. He is a fitness influencer, and I'm not trying to discredit him or his morning routine, which apparently was a very big deal and a lot of people had thoughts on. But Ashton Hall is not a sprinter. He was a high school football player who went to Alcorn State to play football, didn't play for, from what I can tell, looked like he only played 2 seasons there, and whether or not he got on the field much, that's besides the point. Yes, he was a running back, and we know that he's not in track shape. And when I say that, let's just assume he was fast. When you build your body up to be as large as he is, like to hold that amount of mass, you're not going to be able to run as fast as even you would have been able to do if you hadn't done that. So when IShowSpeed beats him, we really don't know what that means, because everybody looks fast, either A, when they're running by themselves for the most part, or when they're out in front. And if IShowSpeed is in front against Ashton Hall, it's going to give the visual impression that he's fast. Running with Noah Lyles, that was different, because Noah is himself. I don't think Noah was really trying in that race. And when I say trying, I mean like sprinting in any real capacity. I mean, yes, he ran, but again, 50 yards is not a real track race, especially if you try to do it off a gun or off a start. Because the reaction time for a race of that distance is severely going to depreciate the actual skill involved to run the race. What I want to see, if IShowSpeed is legit, hey, just to be honest, this is what I want to see. I want to see him run an actual track race, preferably the 100-meter dash, because Tyreek Hill just called him out, and that's what he did. He pulled up to the track. It was the last chance for me. Anybody could have gone, IShowSpeed included. And now that Tyreek Hill has actually proven it in a real track race, him challenging Noah Lyles doesn't look as crazy as it first seemed. I'm not saying that Tyreek Hill, IShowSpeed, or anybody like that can run with Noah. That's not what I'm actually saying, especially not through 100. Certainly not in a real race that actually matters. But once we start shortening the distances, brings us right on back to IShowSpeed, everything starts to get a whole lot more equal opportunity. At the very least, I want to see IShowSpeed run a track distance of any kind. I'll accept the 60-meter dash. I'll even accept one outdoors. I'll even accept one outdoors with a whole lot of wind behind him. I just want to see an actual race that goes to a legitimate distance. But if that's not what we're doing 50 meters, racing to the tree, or we're run, barefoot on concrete, whatever it is we're doing. If that's what it is, IShowSpeed, I guess he is fast enough to keep on running under those designations. And people are calling him out. Tyreek Hill isn't even just the latest one to do it. Apparently, pro boxer Devin Haney also has thrown his name into the ring. And with all of the frenzy going on, social media, the view counts, and so on, in a world where pro track is trying to figure itself out as what does it actually mean? How do we drive eyeballs to the sport, legitimize it? Sprinting puts itself in a very weird place, because on one end, sprinting is probably, the most, high profile, event, especially when you get to the 100, specifically for casual track fans. Like, you can absorb more casual fans through sprinting than anything else. But it's also the easiest thing for a casual person to walk off the street and attempt. Anybody, in theory, can run 60 meters, 100 meters. Just is what it is. Even making the race 200 meters immediately starts to separate the men from the boys, because only people who actually train in track and field can survive for that long a distance. The 400, forget about it. Now we're only dealing with the real athletes, and the hurdles, good luck out there. If you don't do this, you gonna get hurt real bad. The lesson we can learn from all of this, if there even is a lesson to take away from it, is that people do have an interest in racing. If IShowSpeed challenging someone or them challenging him can draw attention, can draw eyeballs, interest online. Hey, I might be an elitist when it comes to track and field and what I want to see the sport become, but if this is what we're doing, then maybe we got to figure out how to do it even better. Because, personally, I think that the concept of 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, like laying it up, hey, let's go, pick a distance, let's roll, I'm fine with it. Anything that leans towards winning being the only thing that matters is good with me, because we've put so much emphasis on the clock in the sport, where it trivializes every race you run if you don't run a world-leading time and or a world record or something of that nature. I mean, the clock is fine, and it's a healthy test, I suppose, but at the end of the day, if you really want to be the best, you're going to have to go out there and beat the best. And because IShowSpeed was given the opportunity to race against the world's best, when I say he didn't really earn it, now he really believes that he has a shot to take him down. I'm not here to tell you if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the sport. But what I am here to say is that if you really think you're that fast, or in this case, have that much speed to show, lane it up on a real distance and prove it. Tyreek Hill has already done that, and he's already called out IShowSpeed. I don't think IShowSpeed's gonna win that one, whether it's 50, 60, or 100. He can pick whatever distance he wants, because you're likely gonna have to go through Tyreek if you want to get another shot at Noah Lyles, and that's regardless of whatever his record happens to be against Ashton Hall or whoever else he's challenged up until now. In the sport of track and field, race day is honestly the easy part, because all of the real work gets put in when nobody is watching. When you wear every day is training day gear, you can let the whole world know that your success in competition is not an accident. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below, and it always comes with free shipping. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.